I love that theme. Hey, welcome back to the Carlos Taco Show. I'm your host, Carlos, along with Mary, Miss Patty. We got Devin. We got Miss Addie in the house. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show.
Thank you,
What's up?
Carlos.
There we
Thanks
go.
for having us.
Yeah. Oh, thank y'all for being here. No show without y'all.
Yeah,
Right.
inviting us on.
Solo bolo. That's what I would be. Wouldn't be
It would
much
be
of
a
a
great
show.
show.
So
You'd
what do
have
we
to
got
cook
going
for
on
us.
tonight, Miss Patty?
Y'all, okay, this is exciting tonight. Why? Because social justice and equality is important, and there are nonprofits in our community that are doing so much work. That we're going to learn about a few local nonprofit orgs, about their missions, past work, current work, future work, and how us as a community can volunteer, do the walks, learn more, contribute time, and learn. That's the biggest thing we're doing here tonight, because as a community, as long as we keep sharing information and keep moving, we can make big change happen. And I'm new to this, okay, organizing. We are very blessed to have Miss Ade. I would say she's our elder tonight. And then Devin, I've seen him out in the streets. Like, we've been out protesting together. Miss Mary, also a big advocate. Carlos, big advocate. We are a forum of advocates, and let's talk about it, because to be honest, I didn't start until 2020. That was my activating year, but these movements have been happening for decades, generations, freaking centuries,
Right.
centuries that protests and organizing has happened. And it's still happening, and for the better for everybody. So let's talk about. So we have three orgs, but currently we have Devin will tell us about Lift Up Contra Costa. Miss Ade will tell us all about the Safe Return Project. Um, Devin, would you like to? And also, tell us about yourselves, because I know that as advocates and community leaders and experiences, all of those things matter. So if you'd like to share a story about yourself, we can start there, and then we'll bring it back to about the organization. So yeah, Devin, go ahead.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you for the intro, Patty. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ade. Nice to see you on tonight.
Hi, Dev.
Hey. So thank you for giving myself the platform and the organization I represent, which is Lift Up Contra Costa. We go by Luck. So Lift Up Contra Costa
Oh,
is it's a 9-partner coalition table in Contra Costa that helps uplift the voices and the uh, the mission for those who don't have the opportunity to do so themselves. So we have 9 partners. Some represent labor, grassroots community groups, and Ade actually is one of those partners with Safe Return Project. And so also, that's the work we do around Contra Costa County. My main focus right now is Antioch, Pittsburgh, and soon Brentwood, to work on inequity in housing, social justice issues. We're trying to train folks to get to, be civically engaged, our youth specifically, so that that mission can be met by community members, and we can grow those youth into community leaders, which is going to be very important for the next generation. And so that's some of the work I do. I can get more into the nitty gritty, but we can talk about it throughout the show.
Yeah.
Just a little about me. I wasn't always an organizer. Like Miss Patty, I wasn't always involved in this work. I kind of came into it around 2020 as well, when I started working with ACE. Someone from ACE should be on a little bit later, but when I was doing community work with ACE, organizing tenants around tenant protections like rent control and just cause for evictions and tenant anti-harassment. Because what we were seeing in Antioch specifically is that we had the highest eviction rate of Black and brown tenants in the county. That's a lot.
wow.
I think it was like 300 people at one point got evicted
wow.
from their homes. Yeah, so there was a lot of work that needed to be done. And as a longtime Antioch resident, who wasn't involved in this work, I found out how bad it was, and I decided to do something. And so, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this community, and going to shake things up and cause some good trouble at the city council meetings or at the board of supervisors in front of the courthouses.
Yes.
Right.
So, another thing I failed to mention is that one other part of the work we do at Lift Up is the social justice aspect, and we all know about the Antioch text messages corruption that were revealed last year around this time. And so we worked with Reimagine Antioch, which is a community group housed under Lift Up Contra Costa. And so we all got together and we made sure that this just wasn't a phase that, something happened and people forget about it. Oh, that's bad that they did that. We made sure that we got the city of Antioch to do things like establish a police oversight commission. Because for decades, community members were calling for that. Mary,
they had an update on that in the news today too.
Oh,
I missed it.
On the texting scandal, one of the police that was in Pittsburgh,
I did see that.
gave names to who he was selling drugs to.
Oh, he gave names?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good. Get him all.
Was it other cops?
Yep, other cops.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, good luck to him. And
he's going to be part of our group soon.
Yeah. Thank you for that update. But also, just some of the work we were doing, we made sure that people were informed in the community. And I'll pass it to Ade. I don't want to take up too much of this first part, so I'll let you start off and tell us all the great work that you do as well. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Devin, and hi, Nicole. Welcome, and everyone. So, Patty, you asked to say a little bit about ourselves, so I'll just tell us a little bit about myself. Well, my name is Ade Tashagar, and I'm a Bay Area native. Like, I grew up around the Bay Area, but I landed in Richmond in 2018. I got nominated to be a part of Safe Return by the Reentry Center. And so at the Reentry Center, you do a lot of work on yourself and get some help and resources. And they wrote a letter saying that they have somebody that Safe Return might be interested in. And I went and applied for the Richard Boyd Fellowship. The fellowship is a year-long paid programming at Safe Return for formerly incarcerated individuals. And so I had a record. And so I qualified for the program. At the time, I was having a lot of jobs do background checks on me and not hire me. I was having difficult time getting jobs in California. Before I came back to California, I was in Las Vegas doing timeshare for about 10 years. So, I was a greeter and then a location manager. So I sold timeshare. I worked in the corporate world. And after I got in trouble and got a record, there was like no one was hiring me. I might as well have killed somebody. They just were not touching me. So I came back to California. And after I came back to California, trying to reinstitute myself into society, I happened to go to the reentry, and from reentry ended up at Safe Return, and then fell in love with the work of organizing. The reason I fell in love with organizing is because I never knew what organizing was. I never knew that it's us in the community that do the pushback. It's us that do the advocacy. It's us that fight the system. I never knew that's how it was done. I always saw little clips on TV at the end of news, at the news or whatnot. And now I find myself going on protests with you all here and talking to the media. And I just fell in love with the whole process. And it was a very rewarding job. I've never had a job where it was this rewarding, and I'm grateful for that. So that's a little bit story about me and how I got to Safe Return. But Safe Return, our vision at Safe Return is, as an organization, is to empower and increase the visibility of formerly incarcerated people and those that have been impacted by the criminal justice system. Particularly in California, we work to make sure that we have a political power that everyone in our community is informed, everyone has what they need, and we advocate for early releases, we advocate for resentencing, we advocate for a bunch of different things that will help our communities with the campaigns that we lead. This kind of collective power, we believe, drives a larger political strategy. And so it's very important to us to work with everyone that's been impacted and also that has families that's been impacted. Pretty much we are a research institute, and we also do some, C4 work on the political side. And that's a little bit about Safe Return.
Well, thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you for being here. And we have another guest, Miss Nicole Harrington. Nicole, we were just doing brief introductions, a little bit about ourselves. Y'all, Miss Nicole, she's like an amazing. It's weird how the universe works, y'all. I'm gonna just share real quick. Miss Nicole's sister moved across the street from me. We were neighbors like in the year 2000, 2001, like early 2000s. And so her niece, we were neighbors and we were friends. And then years, like 2 decades later, we're due at this action and we connected. And oh, you're Miss Anita's sister. And oh, friend. And that's just the way the universe works in our community. That's bringing us together years later and making change for our society. So thank you. Nicole, a bit about yourself and your amazing journey, and then we'll get into the organizations shortly after.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, Patty is one of my babies. So I am Nicole Arrington. Lived in Antioch for a while on Cavallo, so I was on the wild side of town and saw a lot of things, unfortunately. And Carlos, actually yesterday, what you posted, it kind of triggered me a little bit because that's right around the corner from where I used to live. Yeah. And unfortunately, my nephew also passed away across the street from where you were. So it was kind of hard to know that someone was murdered right there. So just looking at that whole scene just brought back a lot of emotions, and I feel for their family, and it sucks, but unfortunately we've seen a lot of people that happen to a lot of people over there in that area. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I feel for the family. But yeah, we've been out here stomping the ground trying to keep people from being evicted and keep people housed. And for some strange reason, the amount of pushback that we get on just having normal decency is crazy. Like, for instance, in New York, squatters have rights. Isn't that crazy? Have y'all seen that? I've literally seen a story where a lady who owns a home was arrested because when the squatters left, she changed the locks. And the police arrested her. This is her property.
That's crazy.
Squatters have rights here too.
But yet we want tenants to have rights and they don't have any. So I guess our tenants need to just start squatting because I don't understand. So I don't know. I don't know. But the world is crazy. Logic is like gone, common sense is gone. Like I don't know. I don't understand. No one has a heart anymore. No one cares about people. We do. That's why we're out here in the streets every day.
Yeah, I wouldn't say nobody cares about people because I get in trouble for caring about them.
Yeah.
What interesting is that I read, I'm not exactly sure what newspaper it was, but I read that corporations are buying single homes and taking it off the market to make it even harder for those first buyers and things like that. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
We're not going to get myself triggered with that statement, but Nicole might have heard me whisper about it at the city council meeting a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very good point, Ade, that you made to raise that, because what's going on is that these these equity firms like BlackRock, Blackstone,
Mm.
buying up
Gray Star.
neighborhoods, Greystar, they're buying up these homes and taking away generational wealth that people rely on for equity in their families for generations, right? And so what does that look like when you're a forever renter, in this climate, this current climate? If we don't establish rights or we don't establish regulations on the federal level, this is out of control. I know that there is a bill right now in the U.S. Senate that someone has authored called like the keep Wall Street out of neighborhoods or something like that. Or I don't know the exact name of the bill. I can find it later on, but it's good to know that someone's doing something, and that's a big fear of mine because I've always wanted to own a home, and now I'm like I'm in my aunt's office because I have to live with family, like. So it's like I appreciate them, I love it, but it's just people should have the opportunity and not have their hands tied when it comes to trying to invest in that sort of thing because some people want to make profits,
Right.
You and I have had that conversation before too, and that's actually what I was telling you about coming home from the last roast is why I want to go into environmental justice is because if you don't have people that are owning their homes, they're not investing in their homes, they're not planting trees. So just take a quick field trip in your brain real quick. Start in Antioch and think about how many trees are in Antioch along the side of the freeways, and then go all the way through Oakland and see how the trees increase as you get closer to Oakland, and then they decrease again. That's because the people that own the homes are the people with the most resources, with the most money. And those are the people in Orinda, in Moraga, in Walnut Creek, in the west part of Concord, and then the trees start disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not,
And
that's how you can tell where the wealth is, where the people own the homes, and who needs the most help. If they've got trees, they've got it. If you're in
trees
Antioch,
are like they're so simple, right? A simple solution.
They are a simple solution.
And if you plant trees in Antioch and Brentwood, then the summers are bearable because you have cover.
Right. And more people live here.
Right. So like the natural ecosystem and all of
that. Shade and oxygen.
In fact, I saw a picture of two neighborhoods in India. One neighborhood was affluent and one was marginalized. And the affluent neighborhood, you couldn't see the tops of the roofs of the houses. There were so many trees. And the neighborhood that was sitting next to that, all you saw was concrete. There was not a bush. There was not a weed.
Wow.
Yeah. Homelessness is getting very serious, you guys, because like I just to add a little bit more, in San Mateo right now, I heard that like if you are homeless and you happen to be in a neighborhood and you get, the police called on you,
they arrest you.
They will come. Well, no, they'll come and offer you shelter. If you refuse to take that, you get cited, right? They cite you for refusing to go to a shelter. You do that 2-3 times, then you go to jail. So now we're starting the process of criminalizing being homeless.
Yeah.
And this is just in San Mateo, like near us, but we should all in our own cities and our own towns with the work that we do, pay attention to these laws that are coming and criminalizing people that don't.
It's crazy.
Cities that are doing exactly what you're saying are not following our laws for the state of California, because the state of California mandates that certain things happen for the homeless people that are just not happening. So my passion, keep people in your homes, let them build a community, let them have grandkids and families and memories and grow. And that's what I want to do. I want to be right in that margin, right there, to keep people in their homes. That's actually how I met Devin.
Hey y'all, so I was thinking, what if we rearrange about organizations? Because now I'm looking like, let's talk about housing, right? Because ACE is the Alliance of Californians for Community. When I see ACE up in the council, I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Devin. Comment.
I'm sorry. Before we close that out, I just want to make a correction. The bill I was talking about is called the End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act.
So, can you put that in the chat for me, because I'll add it to the Facebook page? Thank you.
So we'll talk about housing, ACE, all of the amazing work that you have done, current, past, current, and then what to look forward to. Then I think we can get into the safe return, because I mean that the prison system, the prison complex system is real. I mean, we went from plantations to prisons, and there are people benefiting off of it, and there's communities and families that need to be rehabilitated into society, and not. So then we'll get into that, and then I'm thinking close out with lift up Contra Costa, because Contra Costa County is big. It's a whole community.
Sure.
So what do y'all think? Is that a good little?
Sounds
I love it.
good.
All right, Ms. Nicole, ACE.
Okay. So
tell us about it.
So the things that we're working on right now, as always, housing. I do have to say, locally, we are working on, Antioch ACE is working on saving the Amtrak train station for Pittsburgh, Antioch. We're also Richmond, because they're trying to take those away, which you already know what it means. Black people stay in your place. You don't get to travel. You can't go anywhere. So we're going to take these train stations. So, you know, they want to put a station in Oakley, which is why there's already a station in Pittsburgh, Antioch. What do we need a station in Oakley for? And their reasoning for taking away Antioch, Pittsburgh, is because there's not enough stoppage space between the two stations. Okay, well, no one asked you for another station. So you don't just get to take our station from people who need it to move it down the road. That doesn't even make any sense. So that's something that we're working on, and people need to understand, because no one was even aware. The community was not aware that they are trying to take that station away. So
I did hear that under Ron, our former city manager Ron Burnell, that's currently running for city mayor, it was under his leadership that he signed off to close that out.
Yep.
So
yeah, so that's what we're working on, like, currently, also, in addition to, you know, Just Cause, of course, and then on a larger scale, we'll be going back up to Sacramento to lobby, and we're lobbying specifically for ACA 10, because we're trying to get all these stronger. California has all these laws, but these laws aren't being followed, because there's always loopholes and things these people are finding, because if they want to be bad actors, that's what they're going to do. So they're going to figure out ways to get out of things. Like, for instance, Diamond Hillside in Pittsburgh is it's Gray Star, or at least they used to be called. They've changed their name, and now they're Coastline, and no one knows this information. So they're trying to even hide who they are with their shadiness now. So you have to be really careful of these management property companies, because not only do they come out and do horrific things to people, but they change their names, and then you have no idea who they are or how to find them.
Sounds strategic. It sounds like
yes.
It sounds like a local blogger that changed their name to another one. Because it became well known as a space where
this is my sign for him.
Okay.
Just so you know, if you ever need to talk secretly about him.
Yeah.
And so side note, this is why we created this space too, because there are forces that are fighting against these social justice causes, and those forces are very well organized in their means of communication. They have money, but they also play dirty, and I've seen it. And so we're going to do our own and shed light on our own good work, community advocacy, community efforts that are happening for our people, and not just the ones that benefited off of many African-American families generations ago, and still benefiting now in the prison systems, because many are private owned. But we'll get into that after. Okay, and what activity did you, Miss Nicole?
Devin. I mean, honestly, that's the honest truth. But I mean, honestly, it's always homelessness and things like that has always been something, I've always been someone who cares and someone who's always tried to help. I've always spoken out about things. I always tried to do what I could do. But now, instead of just being more of saying things or trying to get people to understand things, I'm actually out there also, boots to the ground doing this because I want to make sure that it's good for everybody because everybody deserves the same thing. There's enough for everyone. There shouldn't be only these people get to live a certain way. No, everyone should have the same thing. Everybody. No, we're not going to all have the same amount of money, and that's fine, but everyone should have the same comfort level.
Yeah. And
if it water, they should have garbage.
If it takes things like guaranteed income programs or vouchers, man, if that's what it's gonna take. And I don't want like the pushback. I've heard people. Can you please close the door? Here, come here. I've heard people say things like, I worked hard for mine and I did this, and
so did I.
Without,
and I'm disabled now because of cancer. So what? So I get to be destitute because I can't work anymore because I literally worked until the day I was hospitalized with cancer. So what am I supposed to do now? I'm on a fixed income. I can't go to work and earn money like I used to. So that doesn't mean that I should live on the street because that's my money that I worked for since I was 14 years old. So,
Yeah.
They act like they just assume that people don't work or people didn't work or whatever, or don't want to work.
Free handouts. No, but also the government failed communities.
Right.
They failed many communities. Specifically, though, like the war on drugs that happened, that was a very strategic from government and broke families to this day. So there is a debt that's owed on many levels.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So thank you, Miss Nicole, for
and they have money to give out to people who they want to give it to.
Right.
Yes. So y'all, there's county money, there's federal, state, county, cities. If we don't, what happened in Antioch was money wasn't really coming to our city.
Right. On purpose.
Money's still not coming to our city.
On purpose.
Right. On purpose. We've been talking about that too on the county level. Like, this money that you're doling out for the mental health. Okay, well, you're trying to chump change it around and spread it around. No, Antioch needs to be, you need to stipend so much money to Antioch, and you need to figure out how much more you're going to stipend to Antioch, and then you can figure out what you're going to give to other people. But Antioch should be first in line because of all the atrocities that's been happening over there.
Yeah. It's an investment. It's an investment in our youth. It's an investment in our future. Investment in our families. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Nicole. Do you want to add anything else about ACE?
Nothing that I can think of at the moment other than, what'd you say?
It kind of just always comes back to me about ACE. It's like ACE is a statewide organization group built of people.
I mean, it's statewide, 18,000 members.
Okay.
You can always join us.
From where it's national. From where I'm sitting, you guys are national. I'm with you guys.
I mean, it's a little bit national.
No, you are
because of the video that I made.
No, it's national, Nicole.
Okay.
It's national. It's national. You guys made
it. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I love seeing you out there and look forward to being out there and fighting with you in these causes.
Yes.
Miss Ade, we've crossed paths. I love your energy. Tell us about the work. You gave us a little spill about it, but for our community, y'all, like, we need these transitional organizations like to help rehabilitate. And so the fact that we have this in our Bay Area, I'm barely learning about it, but we can keep spreading awareness. So tell us about it, Miss Ade, our Safe Return project.
Well, keep the theme going because we're talking about housing. I have like programs and stuff that I want to tell you that we're doing. But in terms of the housing, we are currently working on reparations and the right to return, to
Yes.
and new public financing in Richmond, right? So what we're trying to do is expand the Fair Chance Housing Act to include people that are formerly incarcerated and also to include people who may have felonies. Currently, the HUD guidelines only speaks about whether you are, a registered sex offender or if you have manufactured methamphetamines in your apartment. Those are the two areas that you are disqualified from getting federal funding for your housing. But as you know, landlords like to do background checks and there's gray areas. There's no way to regulate it. So, we're missing people. So Safe Return, along with the city of Richmond and Just Cities, we are now working together to expand the Fair Chance Housing Act and also to find new public financing for affordable housing and equity priorities. And then there's a lot of people that were displaced in Richmond in the Las Deltas area before I even moved to Richmond. And so we're also trying to reach those people who have been moved out to Antioch, Stockton, Oakley, displaced from Richmond and North Richmond, to offer them, first chance to come back and buy a house or a rental. And if they've already established themselves in other cities, we're trying to have it so that their families can come under the right of return. So we're working on policies and expanding the current Fair Chance Housing Act to include felonies and also people who have been incarcerated before. And that's just a little snippet of it.
Okay.
But year round, what I do want to tell you guys about is, of course, my baby, which is the Richard Boyd Fellowship, because that's how I started. This organization, Safe Return, being an institute, research institute, there's a lot of work that we do together. And one of the ways that we build leadership is a year paid long fellowship, right, with Safe Return. And it's really for individuals to have an opportunity to transform their lives, and the help, it helps shape the future trajectory of where they're going. They can either be community organizers, they could lead a movement for mass liberation, they can sit on commissions, on boards, based on their own interest. And this is how we've been like growing our own grassroots leaders and organizers through the fellowship. Of course, you don't have to be an organizer. It is an opportunity for you to take a year and work on yourself, especially like people coming from jail. You know, what usually happens is they get out in the middle of the night and they're on the streets. There is
Mm.
no body coming to pick them up. There isn't an agency that will take on this responsibility, right? So we want to make sure that in this organization, or at least in the fellowship, that we're a stepping stone for them to do and get to the next level that they want to do. We also want to empower our communities with marketable skill sets. So like if they stay with us for a year, they're going to gain skill set and exposure to professionalism. They're going to network with labor unions. They're going to network with other organizations. And everything that we expose them to is for them to transform themselves, right? And
I love
then
that.
the community organizing is just to build power and to build base. That is what we do. All of our programs is to build our base. And once we build our base, we usually take them into a community action. We engage them civically. They're out there door knocking with me, phone banking, or advocating a bill or a policy. And that's just like a little bit of the fellowship. The first 6 months, they're exposed to themselves. Like, what kind of person are you? What kind of character are you? Let's check it out. And then after the 6 months, after they go through that, then they get to shadow an organizer at Safe Return. And that's how they learn firsthand how to organize and how to advocate for things that are important to them. Now, if they are not formally incarcerated, meaning like if they don't have a record, then we usher them for the Collective Impact Institute, which is a 15-week program that invests in people personal transformation, especially those families of formerly incarcerated men and women. So we want to we want to have something for the families too. By exposing the leaders to the basics of community organizing, violence prevention, personal transformation, we are actually watching people blossom and organize their communities, organize their apartments, organize the youth. Like, it's happening organically. And so I really am excited about the Safe Returns Collective Impact Institute, which happens like 2 times a year. And then we have support groups. So we have our Young Latinx support group, basically ages 14 to 40 years old, in Contra Costa, to participate in workshops focusing on cultural humility and life skills, holistic healing, and resilience. And, funny enough, it's the youth that decided, like, this is what we want to work on. A lot of the youth that were coming in through our organizers are from Richmond, are young, are very family oriented. Believe it or not, like, they are family oriented. When we asked them, what would you do if we gave you $1 million? 90% of them said they would help their mom or their dad or their grandparents. So
Aw.
when I tapped into that, I was like, my God, like, we haven't lost the youth. They're still like, they're still a part of us. So so now we have like Pedro, Marvin, Aaron, Antoine, Carlos, who are their mentors. And we get them, we get them into youth works throughout the task force established work in Richmond. We get them through to Rise. We get them to Safe Return. We're trying to occupy all of their time so that they're not distracted by street culture, right? So
Right.
that's our program for Latinx men support group. They do excursions. Like, the last time they went to an Ace game. They went to an Ace game all together, and hung out with the young mentors that we have. So it's this is all our violence prevention work. And
Now,
then we
are
have,
these youth that, can I interrupt you for a moment? Are the
yeah,
youth that you're talking about, are these youth that have been through like the juvenile hall system? Are they family members of people that have been incarcerated?
it's all of
Um,
it.
all of them. Oh, that's
All
nice.
of them.
Wow.
I love it that you're giving an
All of them.
opportunity, because I couldn't imagine being a youth and then coming back out, and what if their family doesn't accept them? You're really providing a great service there, and the youth are so much smarter than us.
Oh yeah, they're very smart, and
There's,
I
I
got
mean, look
to
at
give
Devin.
like I got to give credit to Carlos and Pedro and the other guys that are at Safe Return, because they watch them and they copy what they do. They model for
Yeah.
them, and they're so responsible. And one of them, actually, I was able to keep for civic engagement and have him phone bank and door knock with us and canvas, because he was so mature and he was so interested in the work. We're able to do that.
Oh, that is so
And then, of course, we
fantastic.
want them, like, the reason that, like, this, what the qualifications for the support group is, like, if they're failing in school, if they're missing classes, if they're having issues at school, that's how they qualify for our work. So what we try to do is eventually link them back to the school so that they graduate,
Right.
and make up the gaps by giving them like tutors. We can have tutors come in for them. We can have city council people come in and talk to them. And that's what we've been doing. We've been exposing them to what the city is that they're around, who's doing what, and then trying to match them up with what they want to do. Most of them are like computer savvy, so they want to do something in the techie world, or have their own shows and things like that. So we try to facilitate that. And then our last program that I want to talk about is the Sister Circle, which is our gender equity work. And this one is a little bit private. You
Do
won't
you want us to
see
share your flyers as you go?
yeah, we could do that. But this one you won't see a lot because the qualifications. This one is dedicated towards healing of individuals directly impacted by violence. What that means is like, if you're a person at home in a domestic violence situation, this program is for you, right? So, and then so looking for people who are catalysts to violence, which means, what if you're the one that's violent towards your partner? We want you in this program. We
Oh.
want to show you how to communicate without without doing all that. So that's what the program is about. We have, we also have incarceration, folks that are suffering from incarceration, community trauma, or trafficking. If you've been trafficked, if you've done sex work in Contra Costa, this is a program for you. And inside the program, they get access to counselors, like therapists that do brain spotting, people that help you regulate your emotions. They write, and they participate for about 15 weeks as well. So these are the programs that we have in our organization, and all of the programs is to build our base. So we're going to have a base of youth that advocates for youth justice. We have policies that we advocate for. We just signed on a bill, I think it's AB 505, to make sure that they have their own youth justice representative that's attached to a funding stream, so that if they want to get away, or if they want to create a better environment for juvenile hall, that they can. And so a lot of that work is held down by Carlos, our youth justice organizer at Safe Return, but it's going great. And all of it is to be used. We use it to build our base.
That's beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah.
So you're teaching people can push their power to push policy, essentially.
The stories, like we always start with people's stories. All of our stories somehow is attached to one of our campaigns, or also all of our campaigns at Safe Return are intersectional. We're all working together for a common goal, which is the same, like, in our coalition spaces, like Devin mentioned earlier, the left side, which is the political side, we all work together.
Beautiful. Thank you, Miss Ade, for shedding light on such an amazing organization in our area. That was the Safe Return Project. Specifically, can you say it one more time?
It's the fellowship. It's the Richard Boyd Fellowship.
The Richard Boyd. Let me tell you, the Richard Boyd Fellowship. Now, I got to tell you, if I mention Richard Boyd, the reason we even have a Safe Return Project Fellowship is because of him. So, Richard Boyd. I don't know if you're pointing to me. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to tell Carlos to post it.
I'm all slow.
language. You guys don't understand.
All right, here's one.
Yes. This is our fellowship. Absolutely. Yes,
beautiful.
And
this is her baby. This is the one that she was talking about, where she said about what happens the first 6 months, finding out who you are, learning how to do the networking and so forth. And I'm sure she wants to tell you that if this is a program that you or somebody could benefit from, to scan that QR code and apply to it.
Right.
Yep.
Tell me when to go to the next one.
That's okay.
We're ready?
Oh, it works.
All right, let's see.
This is their mission statement. This is what they were telling us. She's telling us all about in the beginning.
Yeah, and the program.
I love it. Do you see that? This is what I'm most interested in, is the reinteresting referral network services. Because these are what you were talking about, the different things that you show them, like the registration to vote. Because just because you have a felony doesn't mean you can't vote. They have people go out. This is part of the program that was used when we were registering people to vote in Antioch. Support services with family. That's a good one.
Oh, I have a question. For formerly incarcerated people, was there not a law that was passed that even if you were incarcerated or if you had felonies, you can still vote? Did that pass? Is that a thing?
There are people that have felonies that can vote. It just depends on what kind of felony you had.
Yeah.
It didn't pass?
Oh.
It didn't pass.
I'm sorry, you said it did or didn't?
I don't think it passed, but like she said, people with certain types of felonies, you can vote.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really limited.
On probation or parole, you can vote.
Like my brother was arrested with concealed weapons, so he's not allowed to vote.
Right.
It just really
right.
depends on what it is, whether it was violent or not. I'm curious now.
But
Carlos,
if he
can we
reduces
change
it,
to
if
the
he can
collective impact?
wait, but if your brother gets his charge reduced to a misdemeanor under Prop 47, then he can.
Yeah,
Look at
they
that.
they didn't do that because other things happened.
Next slide.
So go to the collective impact. Oh, we're the young men's group.
Okay.
Okay, tell me when.
What's this one?
This is the Young
The young
Latinx
men.
Support Group.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably when
Mhm.
my son was coming in and telling me his legs hurt.
You know, I mean, like, I really would like this to happen in Antioch. So if there's people in Antioch that are interested, I'm sure we can, we can do this in Antioch. Right, Devin?
Oh, and they
You let
take
us
place
travel?
outside in nature.
Yeah.
So technically you guys could hit Big Break or Black
Oh,
Diamond
yeah,
or Concha
absolutely.
Loma or anything. That's beautiful. Carlos,
Yep,
we'll
they
have to promote this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the group
I'm down.
decides, like, the facilitators don't pick the place. It's the group, it's the youth that decides what they want to go.
Oh, that's
Nice.
beautiful. And I love it that the youth is 40 plus.
Yeah.
Right.
14 to 40 plus.
Well,
I agree. I'm 48.
the program is from 14 to 40, but the youth, we separate them.
Nice. And we got one more
Yeah.
flyer.
Right. So this is the collective impact.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think
All
that
right.
was for the fourth that I wanted to share with you all.
Love. Thank you for sharing.
And we're back.
All right. That was a lot of knowledge. Again,
Yeah.
thank you. Let's transition to the lift of
Before
consciousness.
you do, Devin, I thought of something really good. So you know how, like, okay, if we did a simple little thing like a susu pot, like if everybody just think about, like, all of us and all of our organizations and all of us together, if we collected $20 a month, right? Say we all put $20 a month in a pot. We have a treasurer, keeps count of everything, right? Anytime anybody needs anything, we can help them.
Oh.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
say we have this collective pot, right? And Carlos falls on hard times, right? And Carlos can't take care of anything. Guess what? We have this money here for you, Carlos. Here you go. Now you don't have to be worried.
Would you be doing that with ACE or with Lift Up Contra Costa?
No, I just mean, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be.
You mean as us as regular people? I'm
it
down.
could just be us as regular people. It could be us as, like, I don't know. However we figure it out, I'm just thinking, like, that's a good way to have funds available to be able to actually help people. Say we come across somebody like the lady that was living on the street with her babies.
It's a pay it forward. It's a pay it forward.
Is she the African
exactly
lady, Nicole?
Huh?
Well, the lady in Antioch that was living on the street with her child, was she an African lady?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they ended up helping her.
Andrew and I helped her, I think.
Yeah. I'm like, I know she ended up getting help.
I know there's multiple people that are like that, because I helped Andrew with a lady and her children over the summer too.
I was
wondering displaced.
if the person that I helped, it was like,
is it
like
Mary?
she had enough time. Well, I forgot her name, but she had enough time. Like her visa and stuff didn't expire, but she just became homeless on the street in Antioch because she had a fight with her family and husband.
Yeah, I helped her too.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. Mary and her two kids, Ivan.
Yeah, weren't they living in a tent or something?
I love them. I talked to her mother in Nigeria.
Okay.
We'll talk offline.
My heart melted.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just thinking, like, we could do a collective pot, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do
you know what I think would also be really nice is if we find somebody that has an ADU that's empty, to be able to put a family in there while we're trying to find them a spot, because they were ready to dump her on the street.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's where that money pot will come in handy too, because either way, we'd be able to do something.
Right.
Mhm.
Let's do it. Carlos, you be in charge.
Let's do it. I'll help.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful idea.
Coffee tomorrow at Starbucks. You guys all in?
Virtual.
No, I'm boycotting Starbucks right now.
Yeah, we don't do Starbucks.
Oh
We can go to
no.
somewhere
now you
else
need to tell us why.
because of what they did to those two black dudes. For one thing, that was when I jumped off Starbucks. When they did that to those
I
two
jumped
black guys
off
back in the
because
day, I was done.
There's that
I
bank.
jumped off Starbucks because they were giving coffee to the IDF during the after October 7th. So I have not.
I was
purchased-
already
and
been
then,
way off of them for years.
Oh,
And
geez, I'm
then-
evil. Look at us, Carlos.
We're all late.
No,
My bad.
then,
We're,
you know
we're
what
so
they did?
late.
No, listen.
Bagel
You know what
Street
they
Cafe. Bagel Street Cafe.
Where's
All
All
that?
right,
Bagel
let's tell you about Bagel
Cafe.
Street
That's our
Cafe.
Where's that at?
It's
On
Lone
it's
Tree.
across the street from the on Lone Tree.
Isn't that the supremacist owned?
Bagel
Okay,
Street?
Oh,
Are they Asian?
cats out of the
people
bag.
that own it are
Cats out of the
Asian.
bag.
Oh, was that a secret?
It's a look.
they're
What?
Asian supremacists.
Look, no, I could be
I
mistaken.
vote that we get some chairs and put it on my driveway, and I'll bring out a cup of coffee
There
for
you
you.
go.
Dang, man. I'll bring
We
the
have Mary's
Folgers.
house.
You guys all have a folding chair. Come on
Are
over.
amazing.
I'll bring the
Their
Folgers.
employees are amazing. But I'm going to share with y'all something just to raise awareness, okay? So
Okay.
look, back in the day during the protests, not too long ago, years ago, there was a woman handing out leaflets that were racially charged, racist,
Oh.
painting African American men as the devil, being called I was shot in the back by a police, like just really disgusting. The woman that was handing that out, there's a screenshot, and if I'm not mistaken, she is the owner of Bagel Street Cafe.
Oh
But
my.
but I've seen her. I'm good with faces. I have not had that conversation with her yet and said, hey, is this you handing out? Because she's very biblical and has meetings there with people. And I just
She
look
also
back.
sells diet pills.
So that's that Bagel Street. But I'm
Dang.
still investigation. You get your diet pills from there?
No, but I saw it when I was ordering. I was like, why am I ordering this big old fat sandwich with the diet pill right there?
Once
Oh.
confirmed, we will march.
We need
from
to find
that
out.
Bagel Street to the city hall, or from the community center to the Bagel Street, just to let the
Oh.
community know.
Right.
But I'm
I'm
gonna
down.
confirm that in the future.
Let's
But
do it.
yes. Anyways,
Good to know.
Yikes.
look.
Too. They have to eat. They have to eat. It's okay to be racist. You could be racist. I'm just
No,
not going to
They
give you my
can go
money.
eat where there's bugs in the case.
No, they can
Oh.
eat. If they want to be like that, they can be like that. But they
Now
cannot
you're
be
talking
in
about Holy
positions
Moly
of
Donut
power.
Shop.
That
They
part.
cannot be in positions of
All right,
power.
all right.
where
Multiplies.
It's my
That part. I love
know,
it. I love
people
it. I
gotta
love
be
it.
people. If you want to hate,
You're
go
racist.
ahead, enjoy it. But you can't run for this office because there's too many people in there for you to hate on.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Like balance the power. But I'm not here to
Yeah.
tell anybody like you can't be a white supremacist. Go right ahead. Who cares? Just you can't be in my business. Like you can't be my leaders. Like no.
This is
And
America.
unfortunately, they supremacists are still in the school districts, still in the city. They're still there collecting. I mean, we got our supremacist police department collecting their paid leave money. Like, these are
And you know what
supremacists.
just happened to Camila's baby tonight? She posted it on Facebook. I don't know if you guys got to see it, but her 14-year-old child walked across the street at the time he was supposed to walk across
Oh,
the street.
no, that's Camilla Mill.
Yes. And the
Oh.
racist dude in the burnt orange, I think she said it was a Mustang or whatever it was, drove
I'm
by
gonna go
and
kick him
said,
out.
jaywalking nigger to a child. This just happened tonight on Lone Tree.
Dang.
So the Klan is out in heavy because they're upset and they want to take it back to sundown. It's not going to happen.
Nope, we're not going to let it.
But yeah, no, you can take
You
your
know,
racism and y'all can
Antioch-
sit together somewhere. Stay off the street.
Antioch has made national news twice already last year. One on the Roland Martin show, the other one on TYT. Like all eyes are on Antioch. Like that city
Yep.
is being looked at.
And they're wilding.
We got to lead that positive change, because whatever comes of Antioch can set free other cities, other people being oppressed by their police departments across the nation.
Exactly.
So, how are we going to lift up Contra Costa, Devin? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So
we need help.
Yeah. All really great things tonight that I'm hearing about the work Safe Return and ACE is doing. And I don't even know where to start with Luck, but so many different things. We're all
so is Luck a new thing? Is it under the ACE umbrella?
No, well, Luck has been around since I want to say 2018. They had a board established of 9 partners. ACE is one of those partners. Safe Return. You got the Central Labor Council, SCIU 1021, 2015. And you have Central. What's the name? CBE is an environmental group. RPA,
Community
Richmond.
for Better Environments.
Thank you, Community for Better Environments. And then you have APEN, which is Asians for Pacific
Environmental.
Sorry, yeah, it's been a long day, y'all. And then I might be missing someone. I think I got everybody. So what we do is we work as a table, and our partners work together. My director, James Gerard, who couldn't be here tonight, he's like our fundraising guy. He does all the fundraising so we can get all the things done that we're doing. And so awesome. Yeah, so that's one thing. So there's a C3 side, which does like a lot of the community work, like with Reimagine Antioch, and some of those funds go to like help other partners at the table. The C4 side is our political, like Dave mentioned, our political side, where we're right now working during the primaries. We endorsed Chanel Scales Preston.
Yes.
District 5.
There it is.
Supervisor Scales.
We partnered with our friends at the Labor Council to, get their union members to support Chanel, do walks for her, canvas. I myself was out there walking for Chanel and Monica Wilson. So we want to. The reason why we're in political environment is because we can't really make those changes unless we elect those leaders to make those changes. But the policy, really makes the impact. But the community, I think if the community voice is always going to be as loud, we have to make sure that they are out there too. So that's why we work with other partners like ACE and Safe Return and Central Labor Council. The main thing is how do we shift the political narrative now? I mean, we've done great in Antioch with Tamisha being elected. We had our hands in that race. We worked with Monica's campaign as well. But how do we keep this shift moving forward and not backward? The story tonight about, one of our ACE members, Camila Miller, her son being called an N-word while crossing the street is unacceptable. There's a deep-rooted base that cannot let go of the city's history, of it being that sundown town, of being, all white people in charge. It makes me sick because we've made it this far, and it goes to show that there is still enough hatred to not let people there. But you don't give up. You don't give into that. You got to rise above it. But also,
you got to also remember it's not the majority.
It's not the majority.
It's not the majority. The majority needs to speak up more because these little tiny ticks keep fighting.
Yeah. And that's my next point, is that Luck is bringing all these different groups together because their bases don't all look the same, but we have the same fight. And so the big majority is the going to make the changes in this community. And another part of the work that we do, like I mentioned earlier, we want to activate more youth in this community. So my director and myself have been, trying to bring more people into the dialogue of how do we get youth programs out here? How do we have a workforce development training for youth? Because it's shown that Antioch has, I think it's like 1,300 African Americans are unemployed in Antioch, and it's completely unacceptable. That a lot of our young men and women, not just Black, but are not thriving right now in this city. They come from other places like Oakland, San Francisco, in Richmond, Hayward, and they can't call this place home because there's no direct connection to it. And so how do we make them connected to it? Not make them, but make them feel connected to it. And so we're trying to figure out how we can have high wage jobs in this community for folks through trades. Or there was a group I met last night called Urban League of Greater San Francisco, who was talking about getting young people into coding and AI technology, because that's the future. And so there's all these developing projects that we're working with. It's ever changing. The work never stops. But I can leave it there for real quick, just to ask questions if you have any.
I do. Before, I don't mean to cut you off, but like one of the things that excites me that you guys do at Luck is how you almost create a pipeline for elected officials.
Right. Very important. So you want to elaborate on that?
No, you tell. No, I just,
yeah, that's
you
I'm
guys.
very new.
I don't know. It's just my favorite part of the work that we do together. So
love it.
Yeah. So I guess you can say the pipeline would be getting like grassroots organizations involved, supporting those leaders who shares that community voice. So what is the pipeline? We bring up housing issues, we bring up jobs and incarceration, and we elect those leaders through that pipeline. Grassroots to organization, and we get them elected by doing the groundwork. We do the door knocking, we do the campaign work, we do the phone banking, we go to council meetings, and we let people know ahead of time like what we need to see, and if that person, endorsements, that's a huge thing. We endorse also through our C4. So yeah, like we endorse Chanel that way, and so that's that's the best I can describe it right now.
No, that's dope. I like that because like, if I know someone in the community that wants to run for something in Contra Costa, like my first thing is like, I'm going to introduce you to Devin and James. So I think it's important the community knows, like if there are community members, that want to do this work, that Luck is a place where they can start, to network, get some help. So that's why I'm sorry, Dev.
I know. I'm glad you brought it up today. I was eventually going to get there. I just needed some guidance. And you gave me that guidance. So
I want to ask you about the youth real quick. Taddy, do you want to go first?
Yeah, before I forget. Okay, 2 good resources. Bridge to Builders. My boy Johnny, Shaman Wright, they are doing great things. That would be a great avenue for connecting with
already on it.
Yes. And then Code Tenderloin in the city, they have a great coding program and it's free and they have it going on. But if we could mirror something of what they have in the Tenderloin district, that we could learn something maybe.
No, that's awesome information.
There's in Oakland called Social Engineering. Write that one down too. The Social Engineering Project. It's a project in Oakland for coding for Black kids for African American kids, Black kids in cities. The Social Engineering Project.
Social. Thank you.
And we're going
have a program through Antioch Unified School District this summer as well. So if you they have a program for coding this summer and robotics for Antioch Unified School District kids.
Okay.
Which I don't remember in my history of being in Antioch that they've ever done anything like that for our kids. So like this could be a really good thing. I just want to kind of pat Carlos on the back here for a second, because he's always digging and looking for people that uplift the community. And since we've been talking about youth and different ways that they can do it, we're looking to see if we can reach out to, what are they called, Carlos?
I'm looking. Hold on.
I think they're called, there's something brownies. They go out and they have a show. And they work in the community and they get people involved.
Radical Brownies.
Radical Brownies.
Okay.
Radical Brownies.
They're in Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah. We want them on the show. If you guys ever get a chance to look them up, man, these kids are amazing. Are you laughing at me?
No. I just the name it's like the brown. Okay.
They're the brownies, you know.
I love it.
No, we're gonna go teach
Oh,
our
they're
kids NRA
12
stuff.
year old girls.
Right.
They're 8
Aren't they cute?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
But
I
they're
was
learning.
talking
They're learning
to,
their. They're learning their history. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, you know, above and beyond what they teach in school. You know, I mean, it's important to know your
I
where
was
you're
talking
from.
to the boys today,
Anybody.
driving back and forth to Mount Diablo. I got a bunch of teenage boys with me all the time. I don't know if you guys all know that, but I was telling them about it. I said, you guys need to start something like this. And I had 2 kids in the back seat that were like, yeah, I don't know why we're not. So there are kids out there that, you know, there's an interest.
There's so much. There's so much that youth can do. And that I was a part of this conversation last night where, you know, kids in Antioch right now don't have anything to do. And that's, you know, it's not fair that they don't have mentors. One of the young ladies, she sits on the youth, she's on the youth council of the NAACP. She was saying some of her friends were getting into things, you know, that they shouldn't be getting into after school because there's no mentorship. Their parents are at work or doing other things. And that's the thing we need to bring back. I see bring back talent shows, art, poetry. I'm a theater background. I love going to school to rehearse for theater, you know, or just help out on stage and things like that. So we need to reinvest in our schools. We need to get people out. What was her name? Stephanie Anello. That was part of the conversation last night. It disappointed me. I didn't know AUSD was as bad as it was. And I don't know if I could say that name on live, but I did. So
he's a super part of the establishment, has been for a very long time, making $250,000, but failing our students in the school district.
So, I mean, Luck is working on a number of things, and we really do want to elect the right people to school board. We want to support new council candidates. Once again, through the pipeline, going to people we know who've attended our cohort training class last fall. Nicole was there.
Devin?
Not an election year, but we're trying to do more of those cohort training classes because we've had people come out and on top and be successful. And I think we only lost one race out of the 10 that won. The 10 people that won 1 year. We only lost one person. So it was incredible. Tanisha's a product of that cohort training. And so myself too. I mean, you know, we'll see what happens, but I just feel like, sorry?
I said she didn't do the training.
Devin, you have no idea how high you're going to grow. I've watched you grow so much in 4 years. I cannot say that enough.
Thank you.
You went from a small little kid that just wanted to help to like a voice that people listen to.
Okay, I remember Devin was like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
How do we
and I loved him. I met him. I met him when I was furnishing the houses for the people that or the apartments that burned. And I had extra food in my car, and he was going to another apartment complex. I was like, I have extra food. Can you take it with you?
Gave them your contact number.
Yeah. And after, you know, that's when I fell in love. I was like, this kid's going to go far. But I really thought you were a lot younger than you are.
30.
I was thinking you were like 19.
Yeah, thank you. I am on certain days. I got to be a kid. But
so eventually be running for office then.
If
he's going to be president,
I'm gonna run for darn office. If I can make a change continuously. But right now, that's just like a breakdown. I know that there's a lot to throw out, but it's a huge part of the community now. We have about 100,000 households that we represent in the county. So the work is getting done. We just all have to have a clear and cohesive message to put out there, especially going into November. I need all of y'all to be with me in November. Going up into the election.
We need to heal, and in order to heal, we need accountability.
Yes.
We need closure. Our families need justice.
Yeah.
So we're hitting the end of the hour, but I want to ask you guys, is there anything, any programs, because we covered so much tonight and I feel like this conversation could go on into another episode. Do you guys want to come back with more people and talk about your programs and try to recruit? maybe youth.
Well,
And we can maybe get some youth on the show and they can interact with you and tell you what they think.
yeah, I'm always down to help and be a part of a conversation that moves things forward. So
Yeah.
I hope I helped tonight. I hope just shedding light on the work that we all do
Indeed.
really did resonate with folks. It did with me. I learned a lot more about SRP tonight. Which is amazing. I know y'all did that.
Well, we're countywide, guys. We're not
Yeah.
just in Richmond. So for the people in Antioch, Mary, as you were saying, like, yeah, we'll come back and we'll let folks know how to participate if they live in Antioch with Safe Return Project.
Yeah, because we would love to see. I mean, because that's our mission. Our mission is to raise voices and give our community a platform to talk. And if you need to be more specialized to talk about what you need to talk about, you let us know.
Yeah.
Because we want you to grow, because in reality, that makes everybody grow. And I love y'all. I know I tell you guys all that all the time.
Love you too.
Yeah, I mean, join Reimagine Antioch. You know,
Yeah.
get involved. We need people to start, going to these meetings, giving their input, because that's important. The only way we can really move forward is if we have community input and what people are really focused on. And then, I know ACE has a website you can go to. Is ACE Action, ACCE action.org, right, Nicole?
Yes. Yes.
That way you can find out if you're in a different city or, if you're in Antioch, Richmond, they have chapters there. And so, yeah, exactly.
We strength in numbers.
Wow. That is incredible. Isn't that incredible? That's the size of our city.
Yeah.
That is a group of people the size of Antioch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I heard the music.
And this is a great platform to be on. I watch it when I can. So thank you for this platform.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you for not making me cry tonight.
I know, right? No, we didn't cry tonight. Yeah.
Because I get so touched.
Mary and Carlos, if you guys want to give out my information.
Yeah, what you can do a day is send it to me and I can post it on our page. And then anything we post on our page, share.
Always.
Okay.
And if you get something between shows that you think we need to share, you let us know, because that's our job. Our job is to amplify voices, our voices, our community's voices, our leaders' voices, our kids' voices, everybody. Yeah. That's our job. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a little passionate tonight. I don't know why.
But she didn't cry.
But I didn't cry.
I didn't cry. Hey.
So I just want to thank everybody for being on the show tonight. I appreciate everything you guys do. All the the different organizations represented here tonight. But real quick before we say goodbye, Nicole had mentioned this. And
yes.
I'm not gonna say. I just want to say that we're working on that. I can't let the cat out the bag yet.
But we can let a different cat out of the bag.
This is in motion already.
Is going to have a talent show this summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stage right now.
A series of shows.
There'll be a new organization coming out soon.
Nice. Jose Cordon does have poetry locked down.
Yeah.
And I think it might be this weekend, guys.
It's tomorrow night downtown on First Street. So make sure you guys go. And I'm hoping
they get the biggest turnout that they ever got, because I've been pushing that like crazy.
Keep growing.
I know, right?
Right?
I'll be there in spirit. I'm in Texas right now, but I'll be there in spirit.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, beautiful people.
And thank you, Tamisha. Bye.
All right. Peace out, everybody. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. We'll be back next Thursday, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We just want to thank you all for tuning in. And with that, we just say love, peace, and taco grease.
Tacos.
Night, everybody.
Have a good night. God bless you.
See you next week.